Do you know there's a practice we used to do? We called it the bumblebee breath, right? It's just where you, it's a low, steady hum like a bee, right? And that helps reset your nervous system, right? And if we think of the original source of this, it's what? In nature, right? Meaning that nature is good for the nervous system, yes. As long as there isn't like abusive tyrants, running the show. So I thought I would take a break from the madness of the community line, right? And give an update and go through where I am because some things are shifting. What I'm learning myself, right? Like I know a lot, but I still go through the process daily, right? And I share that. So you kind of get a lens into my emotions, my lens, what I see, what I'm working on, and how I build my frequency and how I tell things. I say how it's going to be. I don't accept someone else's version of reality for me. I create the reality, okay? Like I am not a participant in this illusion. I am the conductor of this illusion, okay? It takes a while, right? Especially if you're I need to see it to believe it type person, okay? There is a time where, or I've noticed that this can be a common thing, is people will get stuck in one particular learning avenue and they will want to stay there, right? Or they become reliant on the physical. And this is a big issue in the spiritual community, is that they want to stay with their physical items like the books, or they want to stay with the tarot cards or the whatever it may be, whatever tool, whatever physical matter tool that they have chosen or resonate most with during a particular time. They cling to it, and then that stagnates them, right? Because I myself studied and used tarot for shadow work for 2 years, right? Now there comes a time where you need to get rid of all of that. You don't need to use them anymore. Your brain is like a filing cabinet of the information that you put into it. Your brain is like an AI system, okay? All of the knowledge that you put into it, it gets filed away somewhere in there. It will come up when you need it, right? You may see it in the form of a picture inside your mind. You may hear yourself think a particular thought at a particular time, right? This is your higher self. This is your the knowledge that you are given it being brought forth to help you during a situation or a time when it may be relevant, right? So we should never get stuck on one particular thing. You should keep it moving, right? Because rivers, imagine if a river just started and stopped, right? It would be unnatural. Right? And water, it would be like damming up the flow, right? Blocking the flow. You block the flow whenever you start adding all of these, or putting all of these material things in front of the energy, if that makes sense. Like I said, I'm a visual person. I see a lot of what I'm saying, right? And I try to convey that into this. That's why it's much easier for me to give you the information the way that I give you the information, and very little of this. So let's start with work. Now, I have clearly been unhappy with my job for a while since I was moved from my original site, right? It's been nothing but a headache. I should have left then, and I knew that, right? I knew it. Um, but, we are all susceptible to the stubborn of familiar territory, correct, right? So I had been putting in applications, and I wasn't hearing anything back, right? And I wasn't particularly excited about anything that I was like applying for. But I reached my breaking point. And remember, I said before, I said, if I am not going to get something new because I am comfortably just passively sitting at this job and it's okay, or it doesn't matter, like, if I find something new or not, right? It's okay because I'm still here, right? But I'm unhappy here. So I'm giving the signal that of indifference, right? I'm indifferent about it, right? And so it's indifferent to me. And the moment that I just said, you know what, I am done with this, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice. I do not have a backup plan. I don't have anything, but I know that this energy is stalled. It is clogged. It is blocked. And the only way to open that energy up is to make a definitive choice that I'm done with this. I don't like this. It's not healthy for me. Yada yada. So as soon as I did that, right, what happened? I got a job that I enjoy, right? Now the waters are still a little murky here, right? Because yesterday, after going through my whole thing and stuff, I was like, I have a whole business. I've been talking about this forever, right? Like I am one of those people that what I have to work on the most is paralysis by analysis, right? I am so strategic and so like meticulous about certain things, right? That I will do all of the preparation and then I could spend an eternity like just doing the preparation. It's nuts. Okay, it's nuts. I know that this is something that like I have to work on. And so yesterday, whenever I was like going through the stuff that I post on the community line, I thought to myself, right? And I never thought that like maybe growing up, right? It's like ingrained in you that like it is like in the South and like the particularly very like religious whatevers that it's some sort of badge of honor to like be poor, right? But I think there's a distinction to be made there, right? I don't want to, for me personally, I don't want to negotiate my morals or my principles, right? Like there's no amount of money in the world that you could pay me to do like anything that would degrade like my principles or my self-dignity or yada yada, right? Like that's where I draw the line. And a lot of the world operates on that, right? Like a lot of the world, it's a pay to play world, right? And usually it's not very good things, or you end up harming another so that you have an advantage or you gain, right? And that's not okay with me, right? It's not okay. It's not okay. It's never okay for me, and it has more to do with the like natural flow. It's never okay to like disrupt the natural order of things, right? Because if I go out and I do something that I know is wrong or something that benefits me and harms another, then I'm going against the laws of natural consequence, right? Like if I Like, this is my issue with, like, the legal field, too, and this is something that I came to realize whenever I was writing papers. It's like, they can tell you, I need you to write a paper and defend this person. They set the laws and said, this is wrong, right? Like, burglary is wrong. They set the laws and said, that's wrong. But then they want you to write a paper defending this burglar, and what I realized was that you can argue for anything. You can argue for anything. You can. All right, you can make an argument for anything. All right, so what does that say? Argument is pointless. It's all a matter of intent, objective, and perspective, right? That's it. So I was like, I'm not, kind of like with what I work with and stuff, like on like the quantum like area. I was like, it's not something I care to get involved with, right? Like, not good for me. Like, I don't want the responsibility of all of that. I just don't. Not in that way, and not by these rules, like, that the undeveloped world has created, right? But I was thinking about all of that, and then I ended up, like, thinking to myself this morning, you know what? I'm like, I'm indifferent. Like, with a slight hope, right? Because I was waiting to hear back from him. Like, he gave me all the paperwork before I left and stuff, right? I'm very well qualified for this. This is something I really enjoy doing, right? So for me, I was just like, it's okay whether yeah or no, right? But there needs to be space made to work on my business, right? And to just do literally all I have to do is like put the website up or make time during the day to like do what I need to do, like business wise, like marketing wise and whatnot. So in my local area. But so I started thinking more about that, right? And so I got a call from him around 11 this morning. He asked me, like, if I was still interested in it. I said, sure. Like, so I'll go in tomorrow at 9 and meet with him. But my point is like, you have to put an end to something. Like, you have to make that choice. The field will respond to your indifference with indifference. The field will respond to your beliefs, right? To your thought processes, whatever vibration that you are giving it, right? Like when I said I was done and then took the steps, took the action to end this, guess what? I set a date for the day that I would work till, and just in the right time, right? Like all of this other stuff, flawless, right? It'll flow flawlessly. So I'm very happy about that. And yeah, that's just kind of, everything else is just kind of blank slate right now until something, until I start. And then what I will do is fill out the energy, and you will and should notice an energy on topics or my community line, whatever, in response to feeling out the vibrations of a new space. I always have to take time to like adjust to new spaces, new energy, new people, new interactions, right? For like whatever I see with them, like whenever I'm around them or whatever energy I pick up and whatnot. It's an adjustment that I make every time I go to a new place, around new people, or a new environment. So hopefully everybody finds something helpful with the things that I post. Like I said, this is just through I'm just in the zone, and like, this is, what I'm picking up. This is what we're going to discuss. These are topics. It's sort of like digging into the abyss, right? Like digging into the abyss to like pull out all of the like, yuckiness, right? That's how I look at it. And I know a lot of people have struggles whenever they start questioning, like, well, is what I believe, like, true? Like, why do I believe? Whenever they start opening up that, like, self-awareness and questioning their autopilot lives, right? Because we're programmed that way. Then it can be, like, super duper confused, like, 100%. Yeah. And when you can kind of step back from it all, right, and isolate the topics, right, it is much easier to, like, discern, weed through, process, work through, like, particular areas that, an elephant, one bite at a time, right? It is much easier to process these things one bite at a time, right? And then we can reflect on our immediate environment and see, like, what we can take for that. For instance, whenever I went in for this interview, right, I am one of those people. I do not, and you'll see how this folds into the things I just said, right? I am not an off the cuff. I am, but I'm not, right? Like, when it comes to, like, my creative stuff or stuff that I'm doing, like, or work related or any interactions that I have with the world outside of me, I want clear notice, right? I want to know ahead of time because I am a thinker, a processor. This world wants you to just do things like this, and I don't operate that way, right? I'm a very meticulous, planned out, thought out person, right? When I do something, I'm not doing something because I'm not it's a quality over quantity issue with the world, right? They would rather have quantity over quality in people, right? It's all about, like, how fast you can meet a demand. It's all about how fast you can blah, 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 and how much, right? But it's not about the stuff that makes things, like, the best, right? The quality. It's not about the quality. And we can see that in society, right? So whenever I went down and I sat in front of him, this is for, it's for a bakery, right? Now I know I have kept a place at 5 fucking stars through very hard work, right? Come in, fix their shit. And then whenever I left, it went to the reviews were below a gas station, okay? Facts. People didn't see the actual extra work that it took to keep that way, right? They didn't see my attention to out to the math, really, to the altitude, to adjusting based on, like, humidity levels, right? Or how much you fold it, roll it, however much you touch it. They didn't see me coming in an hour early to, like, make sure that I drained everything, like, once a week, right? Because I noticed that if you don't, like, it makes the dough very heavy, right? So there were all these extra things that I didn't have to do, right? I could have just stayed, like, subpar. I could have stayed gas station, like, I could have put that slop out, right? But me, I'm like, what would that say about me? I'm not putting this slop out. Like, I'm gonna fix all of your shit, right? Like, and do it right. So I sit down in front of this guy, and he's like, well, can you come back and like, do something for us real quick and, like, show us, what you can do. And it's like, I don't know your kitchen. I don't know where your things are, right? It feels very strange. I told him, I was like, I would prefer to have had something prepared if I knew that you were going to ask me to do that, right? And that's just how I prefer to do things, right? Let me know ahead of time. Do not spring things on me, because I'm a well thought out, like, person, right? It is so crazy to me. Like, the world is just so used to, like, mediocre that it is beyond them. That just because they are mediocre doesn't mean that the person, or that I want to be mediocre, right? Like, it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter what I'm doing, right? It doesn't matter. Like, it wouldn't matter. Like, I am going to bring my best to everything. So, anyways, and then he was like, well, okay. And then he asked me about, like, other areas of baking, right? Which I'm much more comfortable with, right? I don't think people understand there's, like, different sects of, like, baking, right? Like, a bread maker isn't a pastry maker. A bread maker, a pastry maker isn't a cake maker, right? Like, these are different processes, right? Like, baking a cake is fucking easy, okay? Baking cookies is fucking easy, right? Those fall into that category. You just mix some shit together and it's good, right? It's just, you don't have to think about it. Just mix the shit together and fucking bake it. It's done, right? But with the other, whenever you're working with, moisture levels and humidity levels and just the science, right, of the others, it's a lot different. A lot different. It's a lot different, right? So I told him, I was like, yeah, I was like, this is more of my arena, like, these things. And so then he took me back to talk to the actual manager, and she is from New York, which was really cool. So immediately talking to her, like, our vibe, perfect, right? Perfect, right? So I was like, yeah, I can come in and clean this up for you, for sure, right? I can. Because they're having issues with one person who does something who just not doing, like, the shit that they're supposed to, and then the other one. She was like, well, this is kind of what we got, because this is what they can do. And I was like, okay, got it. Like, I was like, well, I could do much better than that. All right. It won't even look like the same product by the time I'm done with it. So, anyways, I do thoroughly enjoy baking. All right. I'd probably have a bakery if it weren't for all the fucking dumb bureaucratic bullshit. Facts. But it's whatever, right? I think it would be cool to, like, move out to Colorado, grow a bunch of weed, and then make a bunch of fucking baked goods. Talk about bureaucracy. That would definitely. There's still a black market out there, right? There is. Did I just say that on here? Listen, I think once people, like, understand that everyone's just fucking cosplaying, they are, right? Like, I like that video. I like that gentleman. He is the perfect person to listen to if you would like some critical thinking. To cut through the noise, right? Because I know that a lot of people who leave that whatever, it takes a while to, like, work it out of your system, right? He's a good critical thinking point. The algorithm produced him, and I was like, I listened to him all morning, right? I could have posted like 100 of his videos. Check him out. His videos are great, right? It's very good. So, I think I lost my train of thought. Hmm. The cosplay, yeah, like every day's Halloween, is it not? You pick something that you want to do in this reality according to someone else's rules, and you dress up like that and you go play that role every single day. Is that who you are? Like whenever all of the costume comes up? No, right? It's kind of crazy when you think about it that way, yeah. It's even crazier that you pay for it. So then you really are just wearing a Halloween costume every day, yeah? Of an expensive one, right? It's how fancy is your Halloween costume is how well you do in their matrix. All right, that's weird. Super weird. That's why I don't like whenever I go into like spaces with new people and stuff, I don't look at it like this is my job. No, no. I'm like, who am I here to help? What am I here to learn? Right? And what can I contribute? And how can I create ripples throughout the matrix? That's what the fuck I'm thinking, right? Like, it, I think what it is like I used to have like a view that someone gave me, right? And if I compare and contrast that, oh my goodness, right? Like, oh my goodness. I don't think I stopped to think about it enough, right? Like, I'll go through my phone and like the cool things can become so normalized, right? I'll go through my phone and I'll just like delete things because I know that it's not some anomaly, right? It's not some anomaly. It's something that I have in abundance. It's something that daily, anytime I want to like whatever, right? I can just produce it, right? That is probably as foreign of a concept to someone who doesn't, or someone who just observes my stuff, right? But for me, it's normal. It's normal. Like someone else may think, oh man, that is crazy amazing. And me, I'm just like, it's another day, right? Like, we have to be careful. We have to be careful. We have to stop and recognize the hard work that's gone into getting the results that we have, right? And that's with anything, whether it's like you struggled for a really long time, like with a business or whatever, and now you're successful. It is good to stop, right? And reflect back. This is how the past is useful, right? Reflect back, do a compare and contrast of where you were to where you are now, and take a moment to like appreciate the progress, appreciate the hard work that you put into it, appreciate your discipline and the dedication and the time, right? Just stop and appreciate that and show gratitude, right? Like I show gratitude for this amazingness. It's amazing, right? And sometimes we can get caught up in the like frustrations and it can sidetrack us from showing that gratitude and that appreciation, right, for our own progress because we're constantly, that's the paradox of growth, because we're constantly setting goals or objectives and maybe we're not reaching them as quickly as we want. We're not learning what we should in the moment with any particular thing. So our progress sort of stalls until we can like figure the problem out, right? You know what? You remember the guy that I was talking about that like just came up to my window the one night and I asked him, I was like, do you have a problem like sitting with yourself? Like I saw him again last night. His whole vibration is different in a good way. He was carrying around this big block of like wood And he's been working on it. It looked like ET to me, right? But he's using wood chisels and he's carving wood, right? And it was like a heart, and he had like a whole theme and a name for his piece of art, right? And he said, yeah, I said, oh, well, how long have you been doing that? And he said, it's just something I just decided to start, not very long. Like, this is my first one. I said, oh, that's amazing. Like trying to be encouraging because, he is motivated to start thinking about something that brings him joy or something, or a new talent or a new skill or something, right? A hobby. Hobbies are good, right? Working with your hands is good. So, uh, he had that, and he said he brought his chisels in with him, and he doesn't work on it like every day. He just kind of puts it down and works on it whenever, you know, the mood hits him. And I told him, all right, because this world will tell you or make you think that like you need to do one thing all the time. YouTube's a great example of that, right? Like everybody's on here just talking about the same shit, like on their channels, right? Yes. Day in and day out, like they're always the focus, right? There's no variety in that, right? That's why I like doing my community line the way I do it. These people can get you the information that I need you to understand or that will help you, and the work is already done, right? Like they've done the work, they put in the time, that's their thing, right? It's better to learn from a lot of different people, right? Because we never get all of our information, even through life, from one experience, one person, one whatever, right? None of our knowledge comes from just one thing, one person, one experience, one situation, one whatever. It just doesn't, right? Collective. It's a collective, right? And through life and over time. So I told him, I said, you know what? Because I operate that way too. I said, you know what? That is a good way to do it. I said, anytime you're working with something that's like important to you or like your hobbies or whatever, because I have a lot of hobbies, right? I do. And I don't do all of them all of the time. Sometimes I'm working with my hands, right? Like, I don't do that all the time. Sometimes it's better expressed in painting. So that's what I do. Or it's better expressed this way or that way, blah, 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 right? So art can become redundant and boring, and the passion and the heart gets taken out of it whenever it becomes quantity over quality, right? That's when passions turn into jobs. That's whenever uh, uniqueness and skills, that's where the unique and the skill gets lost. Facts. Because you're going to sacrifice one thing for the other, period. Right? And so I told him, I said, that's a great way to do it. I said, it is so much better to like, and even whenever you're working with like if I was researching a like cases for a case, right? Like sometimes I would just find myself in the circular hole of Westlaw, right? There is a point to where you can run out of like key terms and yada yada to like find a case for your case, that you just end up in some circular fucking pattern, like finding the same cases and the same appeals and the same this and that for like your shit, right? At that point, I would be like, okay, it's time to like put this down. I'm just getting frustrated, right? Like I'm getting nowhere. Put it down. Go rest. Give your brain a rest. Give your mind a rest, and come back to it. And I guarantee you, you will probably find what you were looking for within the first 5 fucking minutes. It is crazy how that works, right? So, same concept with art, right? Or anything that you're building with your hands, or anything that you're putting your energy into. Right? Sometimes I don't feel like I'm in the rhythm or on that vibration to like do my thing, right? Sometimes I just don't. Sometimes I just don't. I just feel like I need to play the piano, or I need to express it, or this is something that needs to be seen like in a painting, right? Or something I would better understand in a painting. But this world does not. Their matrix does not. Two totally different operations. Yeah. Two totally different operations. Like everyone is so awe and oohed by like, things of old, and that's because, well, something was sacrificed, wasn't it? Yeah. So now they're having one person do the work of 30 instead of each 30 doing the work of one. Yeah. That's what I meant by like, if everybody just owned their own little business and offered their own little services, did their own little special thing, instead of going to be slaves, then there would be no millionaires. Everyone would be equal, just doing their own thing, bringing their own skills to the table, right? People wouldn't be paid to just talk, right? It's crazy. It's really crazy. It's crazy when you really think about it. So I'm going to leave that right there. I've been talking for 37 minutes. I'm not much of a talker. I'm more of a doer. I've always been like that. I will probably always be that way. And like as far as like working in the background, I've actually had people, even my coworkers in the field, were like, "You are much more of a work in the background person." I am, right? Because when you're talking, there's no time for listening or observing, right? And there's a whole lot of talking going on. It really is all about balance, right? There's a loss of balance. Balance needs to be had. In order for the wave to operate properly, yeah. Anywho, I hope everyone has a good evening. It's my night off. Oh, I thought I had to work whenever I woke up, right? And I was like, no, you're off today. It's been a weird week for me. I don't know. I guess it's because I'm like, changes are occurring, yeah. So, good changes, right? Because I am just done with this madness that I've immersed myself in for like the last 2 years with this company, right? There are people who feel like they're like a victim to the abyss, right? And they find themselves there and they don't know why they're there. I'm like intentionally there. Yeah. Always. Yeah. So that I can like scrape the grime out of the bucket. Yeah. It's alchemy.